Why, hello there YouTube and welcome to a Who review. I'm Davros and I'm a Whovian, and today I'm reviewing Doctor Who, Warriors of the Deep. So this is a four-part adventure from 1984, and in this Earth 2084, two global superpowers hover on the brink of a war, and with the TARDIS, when the TARDIS is forced to make an unplanned visit to Sea-Base 4, the Doctor, Tegan and Tolo find themselves accused of being enemy agents, quickly embroils in a deadly game of paranoia. It becomes clear that others on the base have sabotaged and murder in mind. However, there is a greater threat to mankind: the Silurians and the Sea Devils, reptilian creatures seeking to reclaim the Earth. Can the Doctor prevent an impending war and come up with a final solution to save the entire human race? That's the essential plot synopsis there. So yeah, this is in Peter Davison's final season. I also like to think of this as like the conclusion to what I like to call the Beneath the Surface trilogy, which started with the Silurians in 1970, then the Sea Devils in 1972, before coming, full circle in this 1984, serial from, Warriors of the Deep. This wasn't written by Malcolm Hulke, who wrote the Silurians and the Sea Devils, but you should get full credit for being the creator of these creatures. So yeah, I thought Peter Davison was on top form, and along with Tegan and Janet Feilding and Mark Strickson, and we had some the whole conflict thing going on as well, like we do. Like, humans, even far into the future, they still want to shoot first and ask questions later, and not hear what the Sea Devils and the Silurians have got to say. Not to mention that these Silurians and Sea Devils, tried things the peaceful way, but with humans, they think they just want to sabotage everything. Also, the Doctor is reacquainted with one of the Silurians he encountered back when he was the third Doctor. So again, like full circle with the trilogy there. I thought the Silurians and the Sea Devils looked different. They did, from their 70s counterparts. They were updated a bit. The Silurians look like happy dragons, but also, they looked slightly improved from the original look, but you could still tell they were Silurians. The Sea Devils, when I first saw this, I didn't think they were Sea Devils, because they had a lot of change done to them as well, looking more turtle-like in the face and basically looking like samurai turtles, but they still spoke in this voice. But yeah, so their looks were updated for the 80s, I guess. The location, the setting and that, obviously they were in a studio pretending to be an underwater base, which looked good, 80s sci-fi and what have you. But then there is that infamous part where we see this creature that the Silurians send out. Like, I can't remember what it's called, but the effects on that are just so awfully bad. You can clearly tell it's people are covered up and that, and it's like a pantomime horse. But also apparently the operators and that didn't get much time to practice or work with it, so that's how it turned out in the final product, which I believe was one of the worst parts of the serial, and kind of brought the mood down a bit with it. This was also people saying that Doctor Who is starting to wear a bit thin with these poor effects and what have you, but the show managed to soldier on for 5 more years. But still, it was yeah, That was a poor effect. Also, the ending. I thought the ending was good, but yet bad, but bleak. See, the ending, both perish, the Silurians and the Sea Devils, due to the humans and that, and the Doctor ends it with there should have been another way, and there should have been. The serial ends on a dark note, and of course, the 80s Doctor Who started to go into dark territory with its violence and what have you, and its genocide. Of course, it wouldn't fully establish itself until Colin Baker's first season, but yeah. Also, this was like one of Peter Davison's few final serials. I believe after this one he encountered the Daleks, and then, Tegan departed, and then he recruited... Perry came along, and also Turlough left. So, like I say, this was in Peter Davison's final season, so he was all, like, getting ready to leave and everything from by the look of things. Yeah, this ran for 4 episodes, so 25 minutes each, making it 100 minutes in total. And yeah, I'd say it was a bit of a downer ending for these creatures, and they would not appear again until the revival era. The Silurians wouldn't come into it again until 2010, and the Sea Devils not until 2022, and then again in 2025, where they would go by the name Homo Aqua. But Sea Devils and the Silurians crossing paths after they were mentioned to be distant cousins, evolutionary-wise, but also wanted to reclaim the Earth. And we do see that in, the war between the land and the sea, when that came out in 2025, that we humans are polluting this planet and doing damage to it. But yeah, Warriors of the Deep, like I say, quite a good serial with its few poor visuals that kind of ruin it a bit, but all in all, it's a decent one. So ratings, I will give the performances an 8, the writing an 8, the visuals a 7, and my personal, I'll give it an 8. So yeah, there you go. There is my review for Doctor Who Warriors of the Deep. Have you seen this one? Let me know what you think down below in the comments. If you like this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. Share with your friends, and feel free to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell. I've been Davros the Whovian, and this has been a Who Review. So, until next time, run for your life.